So this happened. And you know what? I could watch every single one of them. Longtime NBA media member Rachel Nichols would tweet in the aftermath, "Louder than the boos for the San Antonio Spurs. Louder than any boos I've heard in this building in a while." And then when the game started, dude just decided, you know what? Perfect opportunity to catch some Z's. So let me see if I got this straight. Dude shut down Manhattan, made attendees go through this, and then just took a nap. And can you imagine? You spend a fortune on tickets. The get-in is nearing $5,000, and you have to wait in those lines? Meanwhile, pro-genocide figure and trust fund baby Jared Kushner decided to walk into MSG. By the way, shout out to Matt Bernstein and Emma Vigeland for their interview/discussion with Michigan Senate candidate Mallory McMorrow. They are doing fantastic work together, so kudos to them. Matt Bernstein would tweet, "The whole neighborhood shut down. Bartenders and servers in the area will receive no tips all night. Regular ticket holders wait in line for hours just so the pedo president and his little whaler can walk right into a game the players don't even want them at." Exactly. What gets me as well is that so many in this country are like, oh, he's so pro-worker, he's pro-American. He really cares about lower class, middle class people in this country. And yet, the biggest night that so many businesses, small businesses, can have in New York City, he decides to strip them of that because he shut down a part of Manhattan. I mean, we are talking a ridiculous amount. Business-saving amounts of money. Also, he can go. There's a reason why presidents don't do this. There's a good reason why presidents don't do this. But he doesn't care. In the stadium, this is what it looked like. A fully enclosed box for the president and the rest of the Epstein protectors. And you know what? My wife had a bar last night. We were talking about this. And she said, wait, I thought he needed a ballroom. I was like, damn. Oh, nailed that one. In addition, speaking of the Epstein class, Howard Lutnick sitting courtside once again. He does it at a Boston Celtics game next to Josh Harris, also mentioned in the Epstein files. And now he is sitting courtside at the Knicks game. You know what? Mazel for him. Now, did Donald Trump stay? No, of course he didn't. One fan named Jack Settleman noticed Secret Service was no longer above the box and Jim Dolan seated courtside. Knicks fans, oh, they're pissed.
And now the blame is fully on the President of the United States.
I blame Trump, bro. Who you blaming? Trump. I blame Trump for the simple fact that we won 13 consecutive games, and as soon as Trump show up, all shit goes to
the aura. Like, the fact that they had to show him on the Jumbotron, everybody was booing him. Like, we shouldn't even have to do that. We should be cheering. We should be doing all that.
I don't think it's being hyperbolic to say that Donald Trump might have just lost the series for the Knicks. I don't think it's that crazy to say. He completely changed the vibe of this game since he decided to show up, and as a result, changed the vibe of the entire series. The Knicks have won 13 straight games going into tonight, right? Seems like they couldn't possibly lose. One of the most dominating stretches of basketball the league has ever seen. Vibes are at an all-time high. You're hosting your first finals game at Madison Square Garden in 27 years, looking for your first championship in over 50 years, right? Everything is just awesome. Could not be better. And in going into the first finals game, since he decides to show up, they have to change everything. They have to change all the security stuff with the Secret Service. You can't bring bags in, not even clear bags. You got TSA-level security check-ins for the stadium. You have to cancel watch parties outside the stadium. He completely changed everything about the vibe going into this game. And then during the national anthem, right, you have the first national anthem at an NBA Finals game at Madison Square Garden being performed in 27 years. And it's being completely overwhelmed by boos because he's there.
Even Stephen A. Smith, who has given Trump a pass on so many things, said this prior to Game 3.
If they lose tonight, I'm looking right at him. I'm blaming the President of the United States of America if the New York Knicks lose this tonight. It is selfish. There is no reason for any president, because of the congestion and the security measures that have to be invoked in order to ensure his safety. There is no president that should be showing up to a game like tonight in New York City.
And now prominent New Yorkers like Mace are going all in on blaming POTUS.
But when it all comes down to it, the only big difference of this game was Trump showed up. I gotta be honest. The fans couldn't really get into it because there was 2 hours, outside. Had to be there 2 hours early. You could just look online. It's not the same. You took the sting away from the fans just so you could say the president was in the building. We know Trump is a major figure. We know he's our president. But right now we're trying to win a championship. And sometime, like Cam said yesterday, that if there's anybody that you could tell something and they're going to do opposite, he said it's him and Trump. But it's not always time for that. You got to keep first things first. Like we said before, you got to keep first things first. And the morale, this is a morale shifter.
And look, it's hard to argue against it. I mean, fans of the New York Metropolitans, they definitely remember. So here's just my conclusion on all of this. If James Dolan, the owner of the New York Knicks, and a big-time Trump donor, the man who owns Madison Square Garden, the man who owns Radio City, he owns the Chicago Theater here in Chicago, he owns many, many historic venues. He also allowed Trump, Tony Hinchcliffe, Stephen Miller to have their white supremacist rally at MSG prior to the election where Tony Hinchcliffe made the Puerto Rico joke. You remember the floating pile of garbage joke. That was just so terrible. If he invites the president and puts his loyal fans who have stuck by the team, again, out of pure loyalty in sports, the basketball gods have spoken. They have. What I'm really curious about is if he tries to go to Game 4. And, oh my God, the city's going to be so pissed. And hypothetically, if the Knicks lose the series, not that they haven't already, but Knicks fans will call for his impeachment. And this will be the turning point of the entire series.